On this week's episode of An Echo of Glory, we look back at the win at Bramall Lane and have an overview of the season, and we also let you know about what's to come in the summer. Welcome to another episode of An Echo of Glory. Joining me, we've got everyone in today. Jake Robson, hello.
Hello.
Gary Diamond, hello.
Hello, hello.
Jake Sanders, hello.
Hello, hello.
All right, come on. End of the
Hello,
season,
hello.
we won.
Come
Let's have it. We won.
Arsenal didn't win the league as
Right,
well.
give it some more. Okay, yeah, right.
Yeah,
right.
are we allowed to say that?
What,
Are we
Arsenal
allowed
didn't
to
win the
say
league?
that?
Yeah,
They
because
won as much as us this season.
I know they get very upset when we talk about them.
Was there a moment on Sunday where you thought, West Ham going to annoy everyone?
Yes, half time. Half time was uncomfortable for me.
Yeah.
Nah, they went 1-0 like Foden in the first couple of minutes. I mean, sorry, I'm just sorting out my Spurs versus Newcastle stream here. Foden in the first couple of minutes, it was done. It was done. They were never losing that.
And they didn't.
Nah.
West Ham nearly got back into a game that they weren't even trying to get back
I know.
into. They were really bad, West Ham. But
Kudus didn't get the memo, did he?
But incidentally, how lucky did Arsenal get? That handball from Jesus.
Yeah, but I think that's more of a rule than Arsenal. That's it's
What, you can push
yeah,
the
no,
ball
I know, but
past
it's
the man
these
and
new
go and
rules
score a
where
goal?
if it was the player that scored the goal, it's VAR's fault.
I'm glad I'm sitting
It's
in
Michael
between
Oliver's
these two.
fault. It's Michael Oliver's fault.
Was he the ref?
The guy. Yeah, Michael Oliver was the ref.
well,
He even went over to the screen, looked at it. You know when a ref goes over to the screen, you know what's coming. Oh, we're going to go
Thank God it
VAR.
didn't mean anything.
Thank God it didn't mean anything. But imagine if they'd have won the league on that. They could have done.
I don't want to imagine.
Michael Oliver, the ref, who, by the way, couldn't see Ben Davies getting booted 10 foot up into the air from 5 yards away.
All right, calm
Who was that
down.
one against?
Us.
Arsenal,
right?
yeah.
Arsenal. And then a couple of weeks later, there you go, Jesus, play a bit of rugby and go and score a goal.
They didn't win the league.
Disgusting.
Just be happy
Disgusting
that
football
they
club.
didn't win the league because Son's missed against Man City and his equaliser against Arsenal at the Emirates. That's why
Thank
Arsenal
God.
didn't win the league. Nice shots here. We're just recording just as Spurs are about to play Newcastle in the world's most pointless friendly.
At the MCG.
Bizarre. Anyway, we kind of got that on in the background. A little bit of club news. Jake Robson, club news alert, went to a football match.
I went to 2 this weekend. Would you believe?
You went to 2?
2 matches, yeah. One on Saturday, one on Sunday.
Where were you Saturday?
I was at the women's.
So where were you Sunday?
Crystal Palace.
Okay. Oh, they're good, aren't they? At
Yeah.
the moment.
I want all
Friend
of
of
their,
the show,
I want all of their players.
James Holland told us that Oliver Glasner was a good man.
I saw friend of the show Gary Taphouse there. He was doing the commentary.
You're now never more than like 2 meters from a friend of the show.
There you
An
go.
Echo of Glory
Wherever
anymore.
you are.
Wherever you are.
Yeah. I spoke to Gary, and he is. I'm not putting words in his mouth, but he is a bit nervous about the status of some of those players to be still at the club next season.
Yeah, well,
So-
we probably should have signed a few of those.
Well, we still could.
But let's talk about the women's game.
Saturday I was at the women's game
Against West Ham.
West Ham, yeah. They put in a really good performance, the women, to be fair. Scored early. West Ham then got a goal back, and then second half, the women just the bench made a massitive difference.
Late goals, though, weren't they? It took a
they
while.
were, but one of them was an
I
absolute
saw
screamer.
that.
Drew Spence.
Yeah,
I've got to say,
fantastic.
it's a really good end to the season, wasn't it? I know the cup final was
Yeah,
disappointing,
they
but it's
lost
a really
like
good
one
win.
of the last 7 league games.
It was
Knocked
at
out
the,
City,
it was obviously
beat
it was at
Arsenal,
the
West Ham.
stadium as well. You know, I haven't been to a women's game at the stadium. You just wonder if they would have. I think they have to cap the amount of people that come, but I just wonder in times going forward, you know, more people allowed.
Yeah, I think Arsenal have announced they're going to play 11
Yeah.
games at the Emirates next season.
Also, just from it's not just us like going to work there, but I think the whole thing. I mean, you go there to work, and the press experience is the same as a men's game, and basically and that sort of is leveled out for everything. The experience for the women's players will be exactly the same for the men. The changing rooms, you know, driving to the game, all that kind of stuff. So it's just on a par, and it's fantastic.
On the women, does anybody know if Grace Clinton has any chance of actually joining us next season?
No, and there's a few bits of footage where she was signing shirts, and they're like, Grace signed a new contract, and she sort of was laughing. I don't think she knows. I'm sure the club are in discussions
She's
with
a
United.
fabulous
I'd
player.
be very surprised if United have got some good players. Will she get in their team? You know what? Probably not.
She's a really good player.
And I think we should go and sign Fran Kirby from Chelsea. Spurs have just need to got to push on now. You saw it in the cup final. All right, so they won 3-1. England, Naz and Spence finished 6th. Fine. Push on. Very difficult to break into that top 4-5.
Well, I spoke to the manager afterwards. That's what
Okay.
that's his aim.
Yeah.
What, to break in top 4? They were, if I remember right, I think they were closer to the top 4 than they were to sort of the next few teams below them. I think I took a look at the league. So it's still a hell of.
It's Liverpool and United, isn't it? They're the two.
Yeah,
there's a massive gap to the top 3.
Yeah, and I think Liverpool equalised against us in the last minute. So the women have had a really good season.
So did United as well. Both of them games.
Yeah, Robert Villam's done a great job.
Talking of good seasons.
Another friend of the show, Jen Scalacci.
Yeah.
I didn't see her.
You didn't see her.
But I just...
Talking of good seasons, 21s beat Chelsea 2-1 in the semi-final of the playoff. Gary Diamond, you watched it? I don't know, did you watch it as well, Jake? No, so Gary Diamond's our correspondent on this.
They've had a mixed week because they had the
of course,
they had the final against Fulham, and it was just too much too soon. Spurs appealing for a penalty here. It looked like a handball.
We don't get penalties.
It was too much too soon. I said last week that something could go drastically wrong for them, and it did at Fulham, which was a real shame because they played for them a couple of weeks before and beat them 2-0, and on this one they just never got into it. Fulham played very well, and they were the informed team coming into at the end of the season. But yeah, and then they went on to play Chelsea in the semi-final, which was, I guess, the really big one. They played very well first half. I didn't see the second half, but Niall John scored with the last kick of the game. But Luca Gunter,
what a save! It wasn't the last kick of the game because the save was literally the last.
No, that's what I'm saying. So Niall John scored
with a late goal,
with a late goal, and you think that's the winner, and then Luca Gunter went and made brilliant save. If you haven't seen it,
it was brilliant save because he could easily have spilled it, parried it out to a Chelsea player.
And also, I thought he was going the wrong way in the beginning because the ball could have gone the other way. I thought it was an excellent save. And again, he's one that caught my eye when I've watched him a couple of times. He's a really good keeper.
They play Sunderland in the final at home on Sunday, who they really should beat. But we'll talk about this. We've talked about this in passing. This game we're playing right now against Newcastle in Australia. There's some boys that should play on Sunday or will play on Sunday. They've slept out to Australia and have got to turn up for a game against Sunderland, which they should win. But there's no guarantees in life. Yeah, bit odd.
Really? Dorrington's now out, isn't he? He's had surgery, so below.
Well, Phillips and Alfie Devine came in against Chelsea.
Have they gone to
Devine
Australia?
played very well, actually. He really looked very good. And Phillips looked solid, but they've both gone out there. Donnelly's out there. Tyrese Hall is out there. They've got Kai Maraton out there, who's the right back. They've got a number of players out there. They're asking a hell of a lot of these kids to come back and perform on Sunday. Is it Sunday?
Yeah, at the stadium, 3:00 kickoff.
Also, talking of youngsters, Mikey Moore last night.
Huh?
Oh, for the under-17s,
Mikey Moore scored an absolute phenomenal solo goal. He
got 2 goals. One was a nice header at the far stick, and then the other one he just walked straight. You know what that goal reminded me of? I saw Phil Foden score a goal for England under 18s or whatever it was in the World Cup, and he walked around the team. And he went, bloody hell, this is a player. Mikey Moore wasn't as good as that one, but it was a hell of a goal.
Okay. Other bit of sort of club news is Tuesday, Pochettino walking out of Chelsea. Mutual consent. Yeah. Mutual consent. I get the feeling he walked.
Do you?
Well, he wasn't. I don't think he was sacked.
No.
I think it was more him than that.
Yeah, I would say it was more him.
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. It seemed like there was a bit of friction in the last few weeks.
That's a big...
I can't believe they didn't do more to make him stay, though.
Correct.
They finished 6th. I was thinking to myself at the end of this season, Chelsea are going to do something next season.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're going to be challenging us for 4th.
Now they've got to go back to square one.
Now forget it.
Imagine
no
being
chance.
a player, someone like Nicholas Jackson, who's out of whatever.
Well, did you see Jackson's Instagram post?
What did he say?
He was devastated.
I
think he put 3 shocked emojis.
Look how long it took Poch, who is obviously a good manager, to get them playing good football.
So they've got to go away on their holidays, come back and start again with a whole new regime.
And if you think about it, I know everyone's the name that everyone keeps mentioning half jokingly. People don't realise it's not going to happen. Somebody like a Thomas Tuchel, you would back maybe to come in because that is what he's good at. But he's not coming back for sure. He's not coming back. But there isn't. Who else is out there that's just going to suddenly that's got a proven record of just getting a just random bunch of players to be able to play well together?
I just think this is a huge mistake for Chelsea, and I kind of agree that it is more Poch than the board. I can't imagine the board would have wanted him gone because they were the informed team. But outside of Arsenal and City, the last sort of 10 games, 15 games of the season, they were very much the informed team, playing good football. And throughout the season, their stats seemed to suggest that they were doing better than the results gave.
Just missed a lot. It was Jackson struggles.
Yeah, but their XG was high, the XG against was low. they had the foundation of a good team, and I hope, my big hope is that this is indicative of big problems at Chelsea that are going to absolutely...
Yeah, he's open.
And above all else, most surely Spurs fans are glad that Poch is out of there.
100%. I really hope he doesn't go to United.
Also, the other mad thing is one of his massive USPs is working with young players, and they insist on signing loads of young players. He was
that's
almost
what they've
perfect.
got.
Yeah.
Someone like Lavia, for example.
Well, they've got Matson coming back from loan. They've got some really good players.
Yeah.
That's not our problem anyway, is it?
Not our problem. Would you swap him for Ange?
Conor Gallagher.
I would not. Carry on.
Just watching this game, one thing I've noticed... Are you ahead of me? I'm on 6 minutes 57.
I'm on 7:05.
Oh, you're ahead of me.
You guys, I'm very disappointed. You've been sucked in. This is exactly the kind of thing. This is what the club want. This game is not for us. We've just had 38 matches of Premier League football. This game is meant to be for people in Melbourne and all that.
But I'll just watch Spurs whenever.
Yeah, literally.
It's just not.
I don't agree with the game, but it's on, so I watch it.
This is the 39th game, isn't it? The 39th game that they talked
fine,
about.
If we win, we go fourth. I nicked that from someone.
I enjoyed that. But anyway, one thing I've noticed already on this game is that Dragusin looks a lot more comfortable at right centre back
in a game that doesn't matter. Well, yeah, he would
doesn't
do.
matter.
Romero's the problem.
Gary's so far ahead of me.
Right, come on.
No, well, I want to catch up now.
You can't because I'm still ahead of you.
Yeah, but no, I haven't.
Whatever's about to happen, it's not a corner.
You'll never catch up with him. He'll always be ahead of you.
He'll always be ahead of me. Not on Ange though. Okay, let's go to the first team in a proper game, the 38th game. Way to Sheffield United.
We've made 2 changes today.
Yeah, we have. We've made 2 changes. Emerson Royale.
One of them was enforced, and one of them was the
Who's
keeper.
coming? Yeah, the keeper
It's
and Emerson.
Vicario and
Emerson.
Romero, isn't it, for Dragusin and
Romero.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Austin and Royale.
we lined up his plan A and a half or plan B, whatever you want to call it. Came back. Vicario in goal. Porro, Romero, Dragusin, Van der Ven. In front of them, Son, Bentancur, Johnson on the right, Madison, Son, and Kulusevski up front. First 20 minutes, we're bloody awful.
Yeah, I mean, the first 20 minutes, somebody messaged me saying, well, at least we tried against City. That was worthwhile. But you know what? I mean, it's one of those where I think Kulusevski emerges from this game with a huge amount of credit. He's had a tough season, and a few things struck me. One was that Son was left midfield or left wing when we didn't have a striker and Kulusevski went up top. That sort of suggests to me that Ange and Son might have had a bit of a conversation and said,
this is not for you.
Yeah, you're going to be left wing now. But also, I think Kulusevski further cements his place as such a valuable squad player. We're all having a debate about where does Kulusevski fit in. But he did so well up front. The runs that he made, the finishes were top class. He can hold the ball up.
That's the key, Gaz, for me. It's the fact he can hold the ball up.
He can hold the ball up. He can play with his back to goal. He's got creativity.
As I said that, he's just fallen over trying to hold the ball up.
Yeah,
he has ripped down Burns' shirt in half. So,
but the runs that he made, you know, the second goal that he scored as well, by the way. And I know we're jumping ahead, but that was a near post run, gets ahead of it.
That was a centre forwards goal.
Proper centre forwards goal. But the first goal as well. The team is struggling, right? Van der Ven wins it. You love this one because at the beginning of the season you were all about winning the ball high.
It was like the Burnley goal, the Sheffield United goal.
I'm still about it. I think
comes in field, and
but
the finish from Kulusevski, the first bit of football that we actually played, and the finish is that of a top class striker that's going, my team is struggling here. I've got half a chance, and I'm going to settle us all down. Bang! Well played, Kulu.
I remember he scored a goal against Villa 2 years ago.
I was literally just thinking that. It was the same goal, weren't it?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
When we beat them comfortably there, not last season because they beat us, didn't they?
The 4-0.
Yeah. And I thought maybe this guy can play centrally. And he clearly wants to play centrally as a 10. I'm not saying he's a 9, but again...
But false 9, why not?
Yeah, maybe that is an option because he does hold the ball.
I think the fact that he can play in so many positions, and he even played in the left recently, so he's played... players like that you want to keep.
Yeah, but he's not. His output on the wings, just I think playing through the middle. I think even as a false 9 works because his movement's quite good off the ball.
Maybe what?
He's the Kane replacement.
Wow.
No, I don't think so. But my view on it would actually be if you could sell Richarlison this summer for 40+ million, getting an Ivan Toney type of player, and you had Kulusevski and Son behind him as your second strikers. You know, I don't think you would need necessarily.
It is always dangerous to react on the back of
I get that
away performance to Sheffield United.
No, I get that. But what
we always end with that.
But if I look at it, and I'm not. Yeah, you could say it was only Sheffield United, but it was his movement. It was the caliber of the finishers.
Yep.
And that they were two proper striker goals, and his movement throughout the runs that he was making, I thought were excellent. So, yeah, it was against Sheffield United, but why not give it a go?
Probably a good time to mention what's going to be coming up in the next couple of weeks.
What's coming up in the next couple of weeks, Jake?
You tell us, Johnny. We're going to be marking all the Tottenham players, giving them their end-of-term reports.
You've just told them.
There you go. When's it out?
Yeah, we've got a special episode. We've got special episodes throughout the summer, starting next Tuesday with the class of 2024. Graded all of the players like you would on your school report. A pluses like Jake Robson always used to get.
Like he's given.
Were you teacher's pet?
Like he's given every player.
Were you teacher's pet? You were.
They
weren't
liked
you?
me, but they didn't give me A pluses.
Okay.
Yeah.
A bit of a Hoybier.
Yeah.
Get detentions.
Club man.
No,
Good-
Jake.
good
No,
discipline.
you never got a detention.
No way.
Discipline.
Good, well disciplined.
Never got a
but
detention.
Discipline.
Not top.
No, definitely not. Bottom.
So we've done that for next week, and we've also throughout the summer got some season reviews. We've looked at 1991, the Gaza season, 94-95, the Klinsmann season, winning the League Cup in 99.
Gareth Dace, friend of the show.
Gareth Dace, friend of the show. Go get his book. Is Gascoigne going to have a crack?
Guess who I saw on Saturday as well?
Gareth Dace.
Friend of the show. At
I was going to say Gascoigne.
Oh, God.
You also saw Daniel Levy.
Yeah, I did.
Did you ask him to spend the bloody money?
I did. Spend the money. No, because it was one of those ones where I didn't realise who it was until he was kind of like, because I didn't expect to see him, even though I was at Tottenham. It was in a corridor and he just walked past me. He had sunglasses on as well, so I was like,
Not as usual.
Looking cool.
Round specs.
no, I don't think so.
Who wears sunglasses indoors?
We might.
He was leaving.
My wife wears sunglasses
leaving.
indoors.
He was leaving. He was leaving.
And we've also done. We do the last season of White Hart Lane and the Champions League final season. So look out for those
Memories
during the summer.
Nostalgia, memories. I'm a bit biased, probably. I'm not biased. They're fantastic listens.
Yeah. All right, but let's take a look back at this season. Just want to. We're part of Sheffield United. Important win. Finished 5th.
Important win against a crap team.
Yeah, but we had to go and win it.
Yeah.
With Chelsea beating Bournemouth, we had.
Yeah.
We had to win.
That would have left a horrible taste.
Yeah, and 6 might still get you in the Europa League.
And then
if City
Poch
win the cup.
walking as well. God, that would have been a piss take.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would have been proper like Asian Poch for them, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
But we did it. But let's just go back to last summer when the club was in a bit of a state of flux, and they hired this gruff Aussie guy who we'd all heard of and we were all unsure
But we
of.
knew nothing about. Let's not forget,
You're
right?
talking about Yadinot.
I knew
I've not looked back at the episodes, but I think we were probably. I think Jake, you were very optimistic, and I was a bit more unsure. And I still
Doesn't
am.
sound like me.
No, I didn't go all Paul Merson, but I was unsure, and I think rightly to be unsure. But the window was good, and the start was good. But I want to just go back to the Brentford game. We sold Kane effectively
48 hours before.
Yeah, well, he didn't
It
go
got
to
confirmed on the Friday.
He did the video on the
Friday.
Saturday, didn't he?
No, but Friday was gone.
Yeah, and then he did the video on the Saturday.
Thursday night it broke late. It was 3 days before.
Yeah, and then he had that whole faff with the plane. Is he leaving? Is he not?
That was brilliant, wasn't
Your
it?
friend Daniel Levy.
There was about half an hour on Friday afternoon where I thought he might stay. Is that just me?
No, because it was.
Well, there was that thing
He
about
was
him getting
handcuffed
stuck
to the
at the
radius,
airport.
right?
That's what I
Oh,
mean,
God,
yeah.
we couldn't even sell our best player properly.
But you just cast your mind back to that Brentford game. It all just felt really weird.
Yeah, it did feel weird. But I do remember watching that game thinking, definitely at the end of it, thinking, didn't Romero score the first
then
goal?
got
which
taken
was
off,
also a
yeah.
bit weird. It's like, it's not how you sort of expect things to go. But I remember at the end of the game thinking, yeah, well, I think there's something here. I'm not really sure what I've just seen, but I felt like there was something to. We played all right, and actually,
did.
I don't think I remember going into it thinking, away at Brentford, they're just going to turn us over, aren't they? Brentford are good at home, aren't they? We're God knows what we're
We've
going to
never
turn
won
up.
there, have we?
Yeah, but also God knows what we're going to turn up with in the first game of the season with this new manager playing this new system, and Brentford are good. Yeah, I remember the end of the game thinking, I think there's a draw. Yeah, I would have taken a draw.
Even
before
Emerson
the game.
Royale scored.
Exactly. It was just a bit of a weird game.
Concentrate on the podcast. What's happened here?
I was only super optimistic going into the season because when it became clear that Ange was going to be the manager, I knew nothing about him. So I first went to Wikipedia and I'm reading through all the things he's won, and I'm thinking, well, there's something to get behind here.
Yeah.
But that was the only reason I was optimistic, because I went from a point of knowing nothing about him to reading up about what he won with Australia, what he won in Japan, what he won at Celtic, and then I'm thinking.
And then we had friend of the show, Dan Garbon.
And then we had Garby on, first of 2 visits to the show.
Yeah.
Who told us what an amazing guy he is, and I was fully signed up.
I think we were discussing managers throughout all of last summer. The whole last summer was largely dominated by who should be the manager. And I think the overriding theme from myself anyway was whoever it is that comes in doesn't necessarily have to be the guy that is going to win us the league and win. But what it does need to be is the guy that is going to build the DNA and the foundations of the club for the next sort of 10, 15 years.
Also make us love our club again.
And make us, exactly that, right? And make us buy into something. And look, I hope Ange does win us stuff, but for sure, what I think we can all agree on will happen is that we will play football the right way. We will attract the right sort of players that we can take forwards, whatever happens. And I think therefore the season as a whole has been a huge success. We're in a much better place now than we were this time last season, or the season before that, or the season before that, or the season before that at the end of the seasons. So a big success in my view all round.
I think it was clear just by the second game of the season when we beat United 2-0 at home. Nice sunny day, Sarr breaking into the box, all that sort of stuff. You could see this was going to be different and ultimately better.
That feeling of that game was amazing. That felt like we'd been starved for years. The feeling of, a nice hot August day, and it was a 5:30 game, wasn't it? And we'd never experienced, or I haven't experienced, like post-match, apart from, if we got to a final. I've never really seen that, though, in just a standard game. Fans staying behind for 20 minutes after. I've never really experienced that atmosphere.
We rode our luck a little bit, if I remember right.
We could have been a few down at half time, but we were amazing in that second half.
We were really, really good, and I think that's when everybody started getting on board. And
that was felt like the coming of age for Sarr as well.
Yeah.
That goal, that big moment, and that second half performance.
You've got to think about, Van der Ven came into that game. It was Udogie's first home league game. Sarr's real sort of first home league game, Vicario as well. I mean, we forget Porro came last season, but still, a very new player to the Premier League. Madison's first home league game, that was. This was a really new team, and we've come to the point at the end of the season where we are maybe a little bit disappointed with how it all ended. Okay, we're happy with 5th, but we have to remember when you think about, I remember going into that United game and I was like, I don't know what.
No one knew what to expect.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think anyone
Vicario, Van der Ven, Udogie, Porro, Sarr. Madison, so many new players coming. I'm sure I've missed somebody there as well. So many of these players. Basuma was coming through. He hadn't really played for us
like
that much.
Like a new signing.
Well. Yeah, he was like a new signing at the beginning of the season. So, nobody really knew what to expect. And so when you think about that in the context of how the season has gone, it's been a bloody good season all in all.
Also, that game, we were going into that game against the team we thought we would probably finish behind as well. They were at that point.
Third. They finished third last season.
Yeah, at that point in the season, they were one of the big clubs. And obviously their form went.
They didn't yet know that they were rubbish. No, but do you know what I mean by that?
Yeah,
they didn't
absolutely,
know that.
absolutely.
It's like when you play a relegated, a promoted club that's come up, right? The first sort of couple of weeks of the season, their stadium's bouncing, and then they realise that they're crap and they get battered from like October onwards, right? But that was United. They didn't realise that they were rubbish in that second.
And we've
game
never
of the
beat.
season.
They're one of the last teams we beat.
We've had a generally terrible record against them in the last few years.
Yeah, I think they were the last team we beat. Liverpool, which we then obviously came.
That was
we'll come
2
to that
weeks later, wasn't it?
But after beating United, we beat Bournemouth quite fairly comfortably. Were you disappointed with the team you put out and ultimately the result against Fulham?
Yeah, I think we discussed that on here. It was, had we got 7 points? Was it 3 games in? There was a feel-good factor already. We'd had a really good start. And I can, regardless of this trophy situation we find ourselves in, I've got no problem with changes, but not 9. There's no reason to make 9 changes. And the thing that frustrated me the most is that whole Dane Scarlett thing. He played Dane Scarlett. I don't know if he started or came off the bench, he left the next day.
Yeah.
And that just felt like he didn't really get what cups mean to us. We are desperate. You'll never get a Spurs fan moaning 4 games in if we went full strength. No one would moan.
Correct.
No Europe.
Especially way to a Premier League.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. And I think, did he start Sanchez in that game? If I remember?
Yeah.
Oh, so that was Sanchez, and he went a few days later.
That was the one that killed me. I'm all for managers. Sorry, I cut the ball back and could have scored, but didn't. I'm all for managers testing players out and trying them. You've got to know that the guy's leaving in 48 hours. So what's the point? What is the point of having played Sanchez? Very disappointing.
My residing memory of that game is the awful attempts at saving a penalty from Fraser Forster.
Yeah, it wasn't very good.
He went down in instalments.
I know he's
single
6'7". That was disappointing.
I can't even remember who missed him.
I was on holiday. I can't
You know what?
remember.
I was there and I couldn't tell you.
I think.
Sanchez missed.
Oh yeah, that was it. Oh yeah, that summed it up.
Thanks for
didn't
coming, mate.
Yeah, cheers. See ya. Off you go now.
Are you on holiday?
Yeah, mate.
Where were you?
Tenerife.
Seems a long time
In a
ago.
lovely
Yeah, that
restaurant.
was a low point of the
when we
first pre-Chelsea, wasn't it? That was the only low point.
Yeah, then we went to Burnley, who we absolutely smashed. I know Burnley went down in the end, but
But again, they were a team that didn't yet know how bad they were. And you could see it from the first sort of 15, 20 minutes. They played all right and they scored a nice goal and went 1-0 down. You're going, "Brr, this is, turf moor's bouncing. It's still a nice sunny day. They hadn't
lovely
been,
day,
they weren't
that's a
bereft
lovely
of the
day, yeah.
confidence yet that came shortly after. I think it probably kicked in after that game, to be fair. But then we just went on and absolutely battered them.
yeah. And then just to rattle through that first 10 games, really, the late winner against Sheffield United.
That was my highlight. Of the
Well,
season.
we're going to ask you at the end of your moments of the season.
That's the one you were in the loo for, wasn't it?
No, I didn't. That was the one game I didn't go to this season at home.
yeah.
I was in the loo for Liverpool, which we'll come to in a sec. Good draw at Arsenal. Ooh. Our correspondent from Melbourne. What's happened, Gary?
We went through. I think it was a mishit shot. I can't see who it was that went through. Maybe took a bad touch. Could have scored. Didn't.
Who?
Do you know?
I
Names?
don't know because I'm watching.
Do you know what? That
Arsenal.
Arsenal game, I'm always, I'm sure like most Spurs fans, are always, you get out of a draw there, you always don't celebrate it, but you always. That was the first time for maybe ever that I left and thought we should have won that game. They were so there for the taking.
Yeah.
Were you there?
No, I wasn't there. But Rice went. I remember Rice going off at half time, and it's almost like we played the stadium and not the game. In that last half an hour, we didn't fully believe that we could go and win there when they were there for the taking.
And their goals were disappointing as well on the day.
Yeah, they would. They were. Yeah,
Our goals were good,
Yeah.
weren't they?
Well, they'll go. Well, how
Wait,
can you say it was a good goal when you got
second one
mugged?
was the penalty with Romero.
Yeah.
Handball, yeah.
Yeah.
And you'll say our goals were good. I think they were good. I think it was a good press that we got them in a trap. But they'll go, well, whoever the defender was that got mugged by Madison, they go, well, he should never have. Yeah, exactly.
Theirs was a penalty in a deflection, wasn't it? And they didn't create much.
There's a great because it was just after they scored, wasn't it? There's a great video. Gary's 7 seconds ahead of me. I know we've got a free kick. Did we score it? It was an awful free kick. That's a hilarious free kick. Madison takes it short to Son, who basically loses the ball right on the edge of the box.
Against his old pal Trippier, he roasted.
Roasted him,
didn't he?
yeah. Can't remember what we were talking about. It's a video of an Arsenal fan.
Do you know something? I think that's a penalty.
Of course you did.
It's a penalty.
There's a video of an Arsenal fan celebrating them going 2-1 up with the penalty, and he leaves his phone rolling, and then we score. And it's just the juxtaposition of them going quiet and in the distance the roar of the away fan. Loved that stuff. Then we beat Liverpool. Yeah, I was in the loo for the Matip own goal, thanks to my son needing a wee. I was like, can you not wait? We're probably going to score in a minute. He didn't wait.
I was really angry in that game. I spent the last half an hour just pissed off, thinking this is such a waste of 2 points here.
Yeah.
I know it was Liverpool, but to not beat a team with 9 men for
men.
half an hour is not acceptable.
It was nice to be that team that benefited from that nonsense for once.
Yeah.
Because that's the kind of stuff that happens against us, right?
Yeah.
Especially against
but- and
Liverpool
also-
as well. It took that for us to
Yeah,
make
if it was
what,
Bournemouth or whatever, you
6
wouldn't really
year
care.
It was
wait
nice
beat
to also
them or
then be
whatever.
the team that actually capitalised on it. That
Right.
situation. Because normally we
If
could
we'd
be.
got that situation and got a draw out of it against 9 men, it would have been like...
Yeah,
Yeah.
In as much as it was nice, I do wonder if it had repercussions for the rest of our season.
possibly.
I feel like certain decisions or a lot of decisions didn't go our way.
We'll never know until one ref releases his memoirs and tells us that was the reason.
Which ref?
I don't know, just a ref. Luton away, we win. Fulham at home. I'm not going to go through every single game, but just the first 10 are quite...
We might as well go through the first 10.
Well, exactly. 1-0 win at Luton when Basuma gets himself sent off for diving. A comfortable win at Fulham, which I have to tell you I don't remember anything about. Was it a Monday night?
A comfortable win at Fulham.
No,
Home
at
to
home to
Fulham.
Fulham.
Oh yeah,
we
we were.
battered
Yeah,
them.
yeah,
We
yeah.
battered
Monday
them.
night, I think.
We came in
Yeah, it
here
was
and
a Monday.
spoke to Adam Richmond
Yes.
after.
Oh, God, yeah.
That was when
Another
Son
friend
and
of the
Madison
show.
were at the peak of their powers. In the
Friend of the
first
show,
10
Adam
games.
Richmond, yeah. Crystal Palace, 2-1 win at Palace. Oh, yeah, we were
Friday
so
night.
comfortable.
And then they scored that weird Jordan
Yeah.
Ayew
And then they
handball,
nearly
and then they
equalised.
nearly
Porro,
equalised,
brilliant tackle.
Yeah.
And then we've done this to death. I'm not going to go through the
Let's
game.
leave it out.
No, I don't want to go through the game. But then
Sorry, after the Palace game, they interviewed Ange, and they said, because we played on Friday, and they'd meant some comment about him being like a disciple of Pep. And they
And he
said, what
said,
are you
"I'm
going to do
just
over the
copying."
weekend? He's going, I'm just going to go home and watch videos of Pep.
Brilliant. All right, 6th of November, it all changes. 4-1 defeat to Chelsea. We know all about it. But I do want to then take a large chunk out of the season by asking, well, what do we think about... Look, Son's goal goes in at 2-0. Who knows what could happen? All we know is what did happen. It all fell apart. How much did that derail? So we just go through that game. We win 2-0. No one gets suspended. No, I know we can't. We don't know where we were going to finish. But what happened after that? Is it enough just to say these are? I don't think what happened after should have happened. Losing 2 of the next 3 or 3 of the next 4, it all just seemed to fall apart.
Well, once what happened against Chelsea happened, we were trying to win away at Wolves.
Would it have been different if we'd beaten Wolves, do you reckon?
Or drawn?
No, beating them. We were 1-0 up
Well,
in
yeah,
stoppage
yeah.
time.
That's
that
true,
felt like-
yeah.
would that have changed it? We still would have been playing Royale and Davis against Man City.
That's what I mean. Or
It just
Aston
felt
Villa.
like that Wolves, that late Wolves comeback was almost not as damaging, but it was really damaging. To have the Chelsea then
Yeah,
that
well,
in 6 days.
I think Wolves' mitigating circumstances. It was 5 days later injuries, but maybe we were just unlucky against Villa and West Ham. We did batter Villa for an hour.
we were unlucky against Villa. West Ham, we weren't good
Bentancur
enough, I
came
don't
off.
I'd argue we were unlucky against Wolves. Isn't that the game we were unlucky?
think.
in,
No,
right?
I thought we were poor in that game. We didn't
Yeah,
deserve
but
to lose.
we nearly escaped
We didn't
the win.
deserve to lose, but it was a
With all of that going on, to be 1-0 up for 90 minutes basically.
The shame was that in the first 10 games, I think the players were starting to gain real belief, real momentum, a real flow about the way that they were playing. And then essentially you've lost four or five players from the team, bosh, like that. It's really hard to come back from, particularly when the depth of the squad isn't there. And then, for the remainder of the season, you've got players coming back, going out, trying to find their fitness again. I remember sitting here a couple of times after them first 10 games, and I described some of our attacking football as vicious, and it was vicious at times. I remember sitting up in my seat, and I was watching, and in the first 10 games, the number of times I said, "What on earth am I watching here?" And those words were coming out my mouth, and it was glorious to watch, and we didn't hit those heights again. And I just feel like if Chelsea hadn't happened, in answer to your question, if that hadn't have happened, I think the team would have stayed in that flow. We had the Wolves guest come on here. I can't remember his name, and he said, he's watching that Chelsea game, and him and his mates were just on their WhatsApp groups going, "Oh my God, they're going to absolutely batter us." But by the end of the game, after everything that happened, they were like, "Well, anything could happen now," and we didn't.
Guys, I remember saying when the Son goal, before the cross came in for Son being offside, I said, "We're going to win the league. This is amazing."
That we were sensational, and teams couldn't live with us. And some people might say, "Well, they hadn't worked Ange out yet," or this and that. But I just think the players were playing with such a freedom and flow and confidence, and they were really aggressive in everything that they were doing. And then we just never got it back, with players coming back from suspension, injury, AFCON, this, that, the other.
There was too much going on,
just too much disruption at that.
And then even
point.
like Bentancur as well.
That's what I'm saying.
got
Players
him back
coming
and then he gets injured
Maddison,
after two.
all of this sort of stuff.
One
So
game.
there was just too much disruption that we never quite got that flow back, and all we had thereafter were glimpses of what we'd seen in those first 10 games. So next season, what we've got to look at is the depth in the squad, so that you can really cope with that, and the players coming in are up to speed and can continue that flow. But who knows what would have happened if Son scores, and if Van de Ven doesn't get his hammy, and players don't get sent off, and Son's in on the left hand side.
In all
here.
honesty, we probably would have finished fourth.
Yeah, I think we
on
probably
quite maybe a little bit more above Villa. I know people say, "Oh, we could have won the league and we could," we would have imploded at some point. Not like that, but we would have lost a game and then we would have probably lost a couple.
Villa
Not in that way.
We scored.
Yes!
We scored in a big
Great
friendly.
goal from Maddison.
That is a great goal. And by the way, because his finishing's been pretty poor this season, Newcastle aren't happy. That's a great goal by Maddison.
I mean, the keeper's given it away on the edge of the box, but Maddison's taken that absolutely brilliantly, and we've been on top, to be fair. We've been much better than them to this point.
Newcastle are on the beach.
The Aussies are happy.
I've never heard such a loud cheer for a friendly.
Do you know something?
That was louder than I've cheered any of those Sheffield United
nothing
goals.
like your team scoring a goal. It doesn't matter.
I can't help it. I just love Tottenham. I just love Tottenham. And
Nick Pope's back in goal, yeah. He played on the weekend, didn't he? That's a nice goal.
He's missed a few as well, Maddison, as well, recently. He missed one against
Both
Sheffield
the same.
United
Both
and
the
one
same.
against Burnley.
Both
the
the same.
same, inside left.
He scored that goal against someone earlier this season.
Fulham, yeah.
In the game, yeah. See, I've forgotten that game. Just on Villa, I think they finished 4th because of that home run they had. They weren't great. I know they did really well.
Really forward towards the end.
Yeah,
as
they
well.
did
They
really
were there
well.
for the taking.
This is a team that lost their first game of the season 5-1 at Newcastle. Yeah, they were on the beach
And
at
the
Palace.
last game 5-0,
getting
yeah.
battered 5-0. No, I just wanted to get up to that 10-game point because it was such a moment in time, a sliding doors moment. Look, we stuttered through the season. Gaz, you sent a really good thread on Twitter from Dan Yidvids, just to rattle through some of the stats that he put up. 66 points in the league, up 6 on last year.
Good.
5th place finishes 3 spots up on last year.
Good.
Most goals, Son, 17. Most assists, Son and Brennan, both 10. Clean sheets, 7. 13th in the league and 3 down from last season. We know that's a problem, but we've talked about it before. Goals are up. Most goals in a Premier League season ever, 1,246. Nearly 3 goals a game in the Premier League. Helped by teams like Sheffield United, but lots of goals. Hit the bar, all post 18 times this season.
It felt like that as well, didn't it?
Yeah. 3rd most in the league. I think Liverpool were the most. Penalties conceded, 7. Penalties awarded, 2.
What's that compared to the season before?
I don't know the season before, but 19th most in the league. I mean, the penalties awarded, Newcastle.
No, 19th is only one team.
Yeah, 19th
one
in the
fewer
league.
than
Yeah,
us.
correct. Only one team had fewer than us. I think it was Everton. Burnley. The 2 penalties we had were Newcastle.
Oh, this press.
Gary's not listening
Sorry.
to this
Gary's
pod
gone.
anymore.
Game's
Gary's
gone.
not listening to this pod. 2 penalties, and the one against Arsenal, which we've said in the past, he had to be told to go and give it. Goals scored, 74, up 4 on last season. XG, which I know you like, Gaz, up
Do you
massively.
know what's the most amount of goals we've ever scored in a Premier League season?
Well, I was hearing, I think it's our second most, is it not?
Give me 1 second.
Because the year we came second must be the highest. But I think that it's...
Would that not? I mean, when you think if that is our second most number of goals ever scored in the Premier League,
Yeah, it is.
86.
It's the
so
second most,
74.
isn't it?
All right. So we're still significantly behind 86. But if that is our second most in a season where you've sold Harry Kane, that's really good. Isn't
Can't
it?
argue with
Like,
that. Can't argue
And we
with
have Timo Werner.
that. XG up. Gaz, you like XG. Massively up 16 points from 57.8 to 70. Our XG
That's
was,
amazing.
Our XG was
That is
70.35 and we scored how many?
74.
74. Yeah. Goals conceded 61, 2 fewer than last season. XG against, though, up from 51.
Yeah, but naturally you've
To
got
68.
That's bad. That's because of Conte as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
And because of Ange, sorry. Like that's
Yeah,
it's
no,
the way
I know.
we play.
No,
mate.
but I'm saying last year was...
Our XG over performance was Son as always. Richarlison, Van der Ven's XG was 3 goals from an XG of 0.97. And finally,
That's my point about
Werner.
Brennan Johnson.
Oh, sorry, Johnson.
No.
The XG
His
underperformance.
XG was 12.
Yeah, Brennan Johnson's XG was 5 goals from an XG of 12. So his back post misses, really. Timo Werner, 2 goals from an XG of 4.4. And Maddison's was 4 from an XG of 6.5.
So Johnson scored 12 less goals than Son from basically the same XG. That's
Well,
incredible.
but we know
I know
that.
Son's ridiculously overperforming, but
Son ridiculous.
But I would say with someone like Johnson, that's something that can improve. can't
Yeah,
it?
no,
I mean, he's
no,
a
no,
young,
no.
he's a young player learning how to play in a bigger team as well. He's
100%.
stepped up.
Well, as we've said, we've graded. We're not going to go through every single player and position because we've graded them in.
Because we've done that somewhere else.
Yeah, in a special that's going out next season, the class of 24.
Not next season, next week.
Sorry, Jesus, going out next week. You can still listen to it next season.
Listen to it
if you
next
want.
season.
It's timeless.
James is
Bit of
convinced
timeless
it's going to be
content.
listened to for years. So,
Just quickly, moment of the season, Jake Robson.
oh Jesus, you put me on the spot here.
Well, not really.
I'll
'cause-
start, I'll
not
start.
really, because I did tell you
I'll
in the
give you a
WhatsApp
second
that I was
to
going to
think.
ask you.
Yeah, well, I don't read those messages.
That's why you're bottom of the
I'll
class.
start. To give you a second. Sheffield United. Kulusevski. If you were in the ground that day, that was one of my favourite ever Tottenham games I've been to. That moment there, being top of the league, the whole Ange factor, and to score 2 goals, regardless. I know people give this whole, Spurs won the league in September, and regardless of who you're playing, if you scored 99th, 100th, whatever it was,
Great,
that's just incredible. It's one of the best last-minute winners I've ever been involved in.
Gaz?
Yeah, I think Sheffield United, because I was there with my daughter and I took her down to the South Stand. I didn't know that it was going to be going off down there. But
Yes, great pictures, yeah.
Yeah, I took her down there and just having her on my shoulders and those pictures were brilliant. And then my other moment of the season very quickly was I've been telling my daughter about what privilege and what an honour it is to go and watch your team at Wembley in a cup final. And I've been telling her about Wembley Way, but she'd never been. She never really understood it. And we came out of Wembley Park Station where you're at the top of the steps and you can see down Wembley Way.
Away,
Yeah, and she just saw the sea of people,
Yeah,
and I
it's
just saw her little face. And what a memory that was in the Women's Cup final. Mainly both of them because I was with her. But yeah, my two
Jake?
memories.
Oh, so it's Gary's moment, everyone else's moment. Is this that?
But he's gone one men's, one women's. You're welcome to have a women's moment.
My
Going on
women's-
Saturday because the only one you went to.
Women's was the other day, absolutely, as I was eating roast beef with all the trimmings in the
Daniel
press
Levy.
room. Yeah, exactly, shaking hands with the club bigwigs. I think my moment of the season is probably it's a bad one, really. I think it was the Liverpool one, to be honest.
I
When
thought
that
about
goal
that.
went in at the end,
Yeah.
I was in the car. I couldn't make it to the
I was
game
in the
because I was
loo.
working. You were in the loo. I was in the car, and I was literally in the car just shouting, "Yeah!"
Like Gary when we score against Newcastle in a friendly.
No, way more than that. And you're on your own in the car. I mean, yeah, that was just, that was fantastic.
Did the person next to you think you had road rage?
Yeah, they were giving me the V's.
I'm going to go with the United home game because similarly to you, Gaz, with your daughter, I went with my son who had been to a lot of games, but he'd never taken him to a big game, and United's a big game, and we'd not beaten United at the new stadium. And looking resplendent in the all-white kit, the sun was out, which you said.
Yeah.
And it just felt, and I know I've criticised Ange, fine, but that
Ad
was,
infinitum.
yeah. You did Latin at
Top
school.
in Latin.
It was just, this is so much better than last time. And he was so excited to see us play against Man United. And we had some great results this season. But for me, that was just a kind of, okay, the past has gone now. Mourinho, Conte, Nuno. What was the bloke's name who took over from Conte? Stellini. This is better. And I think that was just a moment for me where I realised, right, the fortune I spent on this season ticket might pay off.
Renewed?
Renewed, yeah. Yeah, of course. You have to. It's in the soul.
I've given mine up.
You joking?
Of course I'm joking.
Okay.
Of course I'm joking.
You're not allowed to go to Spurs because we always lose when you go. What was your record? I've done the stats, the other stats.
I think it was 1-3, lost 5 when I went. Missed 13, won 12.
Jeez.
Wow.
That's a miss.
What's happened here? Son on the left-hand side, ball into who? Johnson, who's definitely offside.
What I mean about Johnson.
XG.
Stick them
XG.
away.
He's got
He's got to stick
changed.
that in.
That is why his XG is really bad.
He's
because
missed from about 4 yards. It's a good
His
save from
12. He's
Pope.
probably missed 7 or 8 sitters.
I need to
they're
see
all
this
like
again.
massively
It's a great ball in from Son, and I think it is Johnson in there, but he should be sticking that in. But it's a great save from Pope, I think.
He did that against someone else this season, that exact close range finish.
Yeah.
Oh, do you know when it was? It was
Luton.
Luton, the whole goal line tech
yeah,
thing.
Yeah. Luton.
No, was
Anyway.
that Luton or Bournemouth? That
No,
was
it was
Luton.
What's
Luton.
next?
It was Luton.
What's next?
Award. Moment of the season.
Right, just quickly, player of the season.
For me, player of the season would have to be Mickey van der Ven.
Mickey van der Ven.
I mean,
Mickey
it's
van der Ven,
not
yeah.
that revolutionary.
Mickey van der Ven. And I'm going to, last one we're going to do, goal of the season.
Oh, again.
I
Was
actually
this on the
thought about
WhatsApp
this.
group?
This was on the WhatsApp.
I actually thought about this.
Go on then.
And mine is Mickey van der Ven against Nottingham Forest. Loads of people went Porro against Burnley. But that
The goal
Mickey
should save it.
That
the
Mickey
cup
van der
game
Ven
or the
goal,
league game? He scored 2 goals against
Oh,
Burnley.
no. The cup game. But
Yeah.
the Mickey van der Ven goal, Talking to Mickey, he's just absolutely outpaced
rinsed
Isaac.
Isaac.
That Mickey van der Ven goal is one of the hardest shots I've ever seen from a Spurs
Do you know
player.
something?
without
I
a
thought
doubt.
this, right? I genuinely thought this, and then literally the other day, I think Opta or one of these things
I don't-
released stats. He's not even in the top
But not
five.
even stats-wise, just from my own eyes.
No, I agree with
That
you.
is
Hear it.
incredible.
It was a proper thump.
Genuinely
we're in.
incredible.
Hang about, no, we're not in. It was a proper thump, and I thought that, and I was looking forward to seeing the hardest shot of the season, so I thought it'd be Mickey. By
I mean,
a
it
mile.
was just the way, I don't know, the way, I felt like the way the keeper didn't dive made it look a bit better as well.
Yeah.
He just absolutely,
absolutely leathered it.
Okay, so
elegant.
you've gone Van der Ven against
Yeah, Van der
Forest.
Ven
You've gone
against
Van der
Forest.
Ven against
No, I
Forest.
was thinking that, but actually, in terms of sheer euphoria, it's Kulusevski, Sheffield United.
Okay. And
And then also, I listened back to the commentary.
great
and
commentary
it's
from
just
friend of the show, Rob Daly.
Yeah, a lot of friend of the shows, and Rob Daly nailed that
Spurs
one.
are up, crowd are up.
They're everywhere.
Brilliant. Okay, Jake.
I think my favourite goal of the season was the one that Ben Davies wasn't given against United.
Favourite or best?
Are you like
Is this
that
not
goal
goal
where he
of
made
the
it
season?
run?
Oh, and are we
the
talking
own
like
goal.
actual quality?
No,
No,
you can do what you want.
just that moment though, because then it was that whole thing of like we sort of touched on this already. It was like things we've been so amazing today that even it wasn't given to Ben Davies, but even Ben Davies is made his way, found himself
Yeah.
on the
I know
corner
what
of
you
the
mean. It was
6-yard
a-
box.
this is where
we're at. Like we're playing so well. We're the attacking football. The system is working so well that he's got the left centre back on the corner of the 6-yard box,
Yeah.
poking ball.
I get what
the
you're saying.
goals in.
In fact, Gary's favourite goal of the season was Maddison against Newcastle in the 39th game.
The game that sealed Champions League.
I haven't
Oh
done
my
mine.
God, Gary! I never had you down as a Premier League stooge. You're pro the 39th game.
I'm going to go with
Definitely not.
I'm going to go with Van der Ven against Burnley.
Oh yeah,
Just
Lovely
how
goal.
he managed to.
Yeah.
he's just so classy, isn't he? Van der
Yeah,
Ven? It's just
and
the way he plays football.
And he'd
is so
gone
nice
into
to
left
watch.
back position for the last 20 minutes. He just popped up and he basically told Scarlett to get out of the way. And just how he got the
Brilliant.
accuracy and the power to put it past the keeper. All right, done. Oh, we're not
The
done.
euphoria. There were two euphoria moments. though.
Sheffield United.
No, that didn't count. One was Son against Chelsea.
Yeah.
And didn't we have one against Arsenal?
Van der Ven against Arsenal.
Van der Ven against
was-
Arsenal.
Our centre backs have popped up this season, haven't
That
they?
was the goal. Yeah, that was the when he nicked the ball. Oh my God! When that goal went in, I was just,
Someone let off a smoke bomb. or flare
literally.
near me.
Those were two
terrible, yeah.
moments that were. Just
Spurs-
remember how you
Spursy.
felt when those goals went in and then they were disallowed. Oh my God!
All right.
And when we have an offside go against us, we never score the next goal in the game. I'm convinced it's never happened.
I have to look that up for you. All right, overall, literally, last question. Happy with the season? Yes or no, Jake Robson?
Overall, yeah.
Yeah.
Gary.
Yeah,
Yeah, all right.
I feel a lot better than
Johnny?
this time last year.
Yes, happy with the season. For it to be improved, we've got to sort the defence out. And I know there's been loads of goals this season. Don't care what other people are doing. We've got to sort the defence out.
I don't think it's the defence that needs sorting. It's just the amount of goals that we're conceding, and it's tweaks in the system to
Fine.
prevent
I'm
that.
very excited about this summer for who we bring in. Different conversation for a different day. Gentlemen, that's a wrap on the first full season of An Echo of Glory.
How's it been for you?
Great. It's not about us, though. It's all about them listening.
Are we coming back?
We're coming back.
Right.
You coming back?
European shows next season.
European shows.
Watch-alongs.
Echo of
Up
Glory
for
on
that.
tour.
Oh,
Road trip.
Very up for watch-alongs.
They're nice, easy ones to watch, aren't they?
Oh, yeah, because our way from in Europe
no,
is so good.
Being 1-0 down in Bulgaria with Dane Scarlett coming
at
on.
5:30 on a
my
Thursday
God.
evening.
Nothing makes you feel more Tottenham than that.
1-0 down in Bulgaria.
Don't finish on a bad note. Oh, shit. Excuse me.
Have they scored?
Yep.
It's absolutely perfect for us to end the season on Newcastle scoring a goal
I've got
against
Isaac
us.
in my fantasy team. It's good.
They've done nothing. They've done nothing all half Newcastle, and then
Anyway, gentlemen, thank you. Gary, you can go off and watch this game now.
Carries off to the pub.
Stick the game on. What game? The 39th game?
39th game.
All right, Jake Robson, thank you for coming in, not being on a holiday too often.
I will be next week.
Are you? Where you going?
No, I'm not. Not yet.
Gary, thank you as always.
lovely to be here. Thank you.
Yeah. Jake Sanders, thank you very much.
That's all right.
All right, that's it. That's a wrap. Like I said, we are putting content out throughout the season. Keep your eye on the Spurs players. during the Euros. Let's hope they all come back safely, like the Grand National. Let's hope they all come back. They all come back safely. Do look out for the special episodes coming out on a Tuesday throughout the summer. And thank you for being part of the Echo Squad. And we will see you next season. And up the Spurs.